What's up, babes? It's Alex or Black Eye here. A while ago, I went over some bugs and glitches that I just found entertaining that have historically been in SMITE. That video did pretty well, and it's been a decent amount of time, so let's just make another one. Similar to the previous video, I am not condoning bug abuse, I just find it entertaining. Bug abusing to a certain extent is bannable, so if you do find one, I would just try to avoid doing it and report it to either a high-res developer or an Olympian. I'm also taking clips from a ton of different people, and it's kind of unrealistic for me to try and reach out to every single person. So in the top right or top left or wherever, I'm going to put the platform that I found the video on, as well as the name of the person that posted it. All the links for everything will also be in the description. So without further ado, here's even more SMITE bugs and glitches. Let's start off with Persephone, because before making this, I kind of forgot how buggy she was. You guys remember old Persephone passive when she could kill people after she died? Well, there was a glitch a few months ago which allowed her to basically use her old passive, but with her new kit. I think it had something to do with beads being bugged, but I'm not sure. Another bug I found where after she died, this player decided to just walk up to the Titan and start hitting it, and it's apparently doing damage. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see the Titan flashing in the minimap, which only flashes if it's taking damage. And also, this guy was very enthusiastic about this.
I have 40 seconds of this, bro. Look how litty it is. Do you think it'll die in 40 seconds?
The final glitch I found, and I believe this was a glitch because if you look in the bottom left, the person that killed her does get the kill. But in this clip, you can see that Persephone gets Fearless, Ra ulted, Khepri revived, and then she is just revived instead of going into the death state, even though the revive happened after she already lost all of her health. And you can see in the corner that Ra did get the kill credit for it. This one's a bit more recent, but I couldn't not include it. With the new tuned Baron skin, well, not really new anymore, if your back animation got interrupted or something, sometimes your hat would just get really big. I want to say this is still in the game, I'm not sure, but I remember when this was discovered, people were asking the developers to not fix this. Let's talk about times when people become invisible. I don't remember when this was, but there was one patch where Cthulhu was super buggy and would just go invisible in his ultimate. Again, I'm not really sure what caused this, but I found a few clips of it happening, and it's... what the fuck, man? Speaking of invisibility, this was back in Season 5, but there's an issue with Vulcan's turret where it would be invisible on the Joust map only if you were playing in the Spanish or Portuguese language. I couldn't find video footage, but I found a few screenshots, and this is like the most random shit ever, and I love it so much. Moving on, everyone knows that T-posing is peak masculinity, which is why there have been some glitches where characters would just, well, get frozen in animation or just straight up T-pose. As you can see in this first clip, Horus is just kind of T-posing with his wings. He can still use abilities normally, there just aren't any animations, and that's consistent with all of these glitches. I found another one where it happened to Chalk. Not necessarily T-posing, just kind of like gliding across the Conquest map, and same thing, you can still use abilities and whatnot, there's just no animation. Finally, I found one with Kakolin, and I didn't edit this, but this is from Stormed, and I busted out laughing when I saw this. Okay, now let's go into more specific individual ones, such as when this Bakasura was eating a Sylvanas plant. It was weird because he didn't like eat the plant, but the animation did go off and he did get the health back, but the plant is still there, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. In the last video, I showed off some things with Da Ji, and I can't believe I forgot about this one, but if you would combine Da Ji and Kumba's ult at a point in time, you would just kind of yeet someone off of the map. This clip is 30 seconds long, and the Bologna doesn't get down for the entirety of it, so I'm wondering if you could just do this to every single person on the enemy team, if you could just insta-win. Earlier, I said you could get banned for abusing some of the glitches, and I believe this one you could get banned for, especially if you abused it in ranked. So this one's a super weird glitch where I think the majority of you are not subscribed. So just in case you aren't, you might as well go click that subscription button. I know, super weird glitch. This next one involves Serket, and her basic attack animation got switched with her third ability animation. So every time she would basic attack, instead of just swinging her little fucking blades, she would just jump as if she was leaping in her third ability. Again, she's still targetable, it's solely that the animation just like switched. It was super weird, but also hilarious. In a similar vein to the Serket one I just showed, I believe this is the same thing happening except to Ho Yi. So he's permanently stuck in the air, but he can move around, he can auto, he can cast abilities, but he's just in the air. He can still be damaged too, again, it's just an animation thing. You can even see Kronos use his 3, force him back down, and then he immediately goes back up. Like, how does this shit even happen, man? I talked about Giannis a lot in the last video, and I didn't mention this one, but sometimes when you go through a portal, or specifically when you're using your ultimate, you'll just glitch out and immediately go to where the next portal should be. Here's a fun one that I didn't know about. I think this one was a bug. I highly doubt this was intended, but Alpwashel used to damage towers. So, yeah, that was a thing. You guys remember when Jormungandr was released and everyone thought that he would be broken assuming his basic attacks could proc item effects? Well, thankfully they don't, but at some point after Yorm's released, I guess Hi-Rez just forgot about Death's Toll. Yeah, you could probably figure out why this isn't okay. This next one is one that I personally spent a long time trying to do, but if you used your Sylvanas third ability right as you finished your recall animation, you could pull people to where you were recalling to, the fountain. I believe this is one of the only clips where somebody did it in duel, so shout out to Hatmaster for this. Here's a super old one that I didn't know about because this was before my time, but Aegis used to be able to cancel ultimates. This video is super old, but he demonstrates how you could bait out people's beads with Ares, and then use Aegis to cancel the ult after they use beads, and then you could just ult again because Aegis canceled it and your ultimate never went on cooldown. This video shows a variety of gods that it was useful on, like Chalk, Thanatos, etc. And again, everything I'm showing here is in the description. So here's one I found from 7 years ago. I believe this was after Soul was released, but every time Soul would auto, a voice line would play, like a default Soul voice line. And I'm wondering if other people could hear it, because if so, this would be so fucking annoying and so fucking funny to troll people with.
A little unstable. Now I'm angry. Now I'm
Now this one I believe is actually still in the game, and the reason it is because nobody knows how to reproduce the bug. I want to say it has something to do with Heimdallr, because every single clip I've seen of this is against a Heimdallr. But yeah, Rama ults and doesn't go in the air. He just kind of stays on the ground, but he's still untargetable. He can still cast his ult. I have 20,000 worshippers on Rama, and this has happened to me twice. Alright, we got two more, but this one was also somewhat recent, I guess, depending on what your definition of recent is. But if Shiva dashed into Scotty Ice, and then the Scotty Ice went away, the Shiva would just permanently slide, and I think the only way to fix it was dying. I'm just imagining the poor soul that first found this and was just sliding across the map endlessly until he eventually died. And finally, we gotta go with a classic. Ao Kuang just not executing people. This has happened to me a few times where I've been in execute range, I 100% deserve to die, and then Ao Kuang just, doesn't really feel like killing me. This one is actually extra funny because he got on top of a, I guess, piece of geometry on the map. So this one's kind of a 2 glitch for 1 combo. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching. I actually tweeted asking for videos of bugs and glitches, and it got 114 comments. So I could probably make more videos off of that thread alone. So if you guys like this and want to see more, just leave a comment. But again, this has been Black Eye. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Oh, shit. Oh, pray them niggas go away. Oh, we sell